This simple trading bot mistake has cost me thousands of dollars. So today I want to share with you what this mistake is so you won't do the same thing if you're using trading bots for your crypto portfolio. As usual, none of this is financial advice. I'm definitely not a financial advisor.
Knowledge.
So if you've been following the channel, I'm going to be doing a 10K to 1 million 100X challenge using trading bots on Femix and Bitsgap. And I'm going to do an update at the end of the video. But while going through this challenge and really looking at crypto trading bots in more detail, doing more experiments, I realized there was a key mistake I was making with these trading bots. Now let me show you with my most recent trading bot, one I actually recently just closed and opened. Now you can see in my trading bot it says realized minus $12, even though I made 131. I cashed this out, I cashed out this position, so I actually made close to 120 bucks, and the rest was just realized left over. But that's not the important part. The important is, you can see on the history, I had a number of arbitrages, 1,026, and each time one of these, I was making 16 cents. So during this time period, I started around here, Bitcoin went all the way down to about 100K, bounced back up, and I cashed out right around here, and I made a decent amount of money with these transactions, these arbitrages. Each one was making 16 cents. But there was a way, after doing more analyzing, I could have made a lot more money than 16 cents per grid trading profit, even with 5x leverage, which is a trading bot. If you're confused on this, you can check the previous video. I'll link right here. So to find my error, let's go to Bitsgap. We can do a 30-day back test so we can see and compare different levels to see my error. So when I made my Femix trading bot, I did 200 grids. So what that would look like on Bitsgap, if I had a bunch of grids, you can see with the grids, every little level is going to buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. So every little level on here, I'm going to make a little transaction. I'm going to make some money. You can see I had 1,000 arbitrages, over 2,000 transactions in this short time period from this candle here, May 23rd, all the way to here. So I had over 1,000 transactions, which would sound good. I was making 16 cents each time, and it was buying and selling very rapidly. But here is the issue with this. If I have a bunch of transactions, and let's do a back test with 100 grids. You can see it, I made 0.47% estimated on this back test. That's with the maximum number of grids with a 0.12% grid step. If I lower the amount of grids, let's say I only did 10, so now each grid is 1% away from each other. If I back test, now I get 2.2%. So with less grids, I'm actually making more money. Why with less grids am I going to make more money? Now we're at 2.89. Now we're at 2.89 with the current amount of grids. So why with less grids would I make more money? With more higher space in between each grid, you'd expect with more transactions, I'd be able to capture more little fluctuations like this candle right here. I would actually capture a lot of buy and sells in between that candle. There's one thing that was not really making sense in my frame of mind, which I should have really considered, but I was not. And that's the trading fee for each time you buy and sell. And this is an estimation of 0.25%. Let's say it was a 0% trading fee. There's no trading fee. Now we can see my results bump up to 3.32% on the 30 days. That's with 7 grid levels. Let's say I did 100 grid levels and I back test and I change this to 0. Now you can see my results are 4.48. So the trading fees, when you're trading so much, every little price fluctuation, it's going to eat up your portfolio. It's going to eat up the profits because you're transacting so much for such a small amount. And we can make sense of this with the math. So to make sense of how the fees eat up the profits, even with a smaller grid step, I use ChatGPT just for a quick scenario analysis. Let's say we had starting price of an asset, $100, and we had $1,000 of capital, and the exchange fee was 0.1% per trade. That'd mean on your buy and sell, you'd have 0.2% per grid for each buy and sell. And let's assume we put in the full $1,000 on a grid trading. If we have a 10% up or down move, this is from a 90 to 110 if we're assuming the asset is $100. With each 0.5%, that would be 20 grids up, 20 down. So we'd have a lot of cycles we can do to capture a lot of small price movements within this 10% range. And let's assume the fee is 0.1%. Each round trip trade, each 0.1% fee on that, it would cost me about 20 cents. $100, if I was doing 100 times 0.1 equals 10 cents. So $100 up, $100 down, that's 20 cents per trade. And if I was only profiting 0.5%, That's the grid step, 0.5%. I make 50 cents gross. So 50 cents minus the 20-cent fee, I get 30 cents per grid cycle. And if there are 20 trades, if there are 20 trades, that'd be $6. Let's say my grid step was larger, 2% instead of 0.5. Now I have 5 steps up, 5 steps down, and I keep the same parameters. Remember, 0.1% of $100 is 0.1, so I'd have 20 cents on the buy and sell, but my net profit, 2% each time with less trades, would be $1.80. So I'd have $9 instead. So compare $9 to $6 with a smaller grid cycle. And that's exactly what we see in Bitsgap. The more buy and sells with, let's say, we can compare this to ChatGPT, a 0.1% trading fee, 1.36% with all these buy and sells with a smaller grid step. If I have a larger grid step, now I'm trading 1.16% in between. You can see there's more levels on the grids. If I change this to 0.1, you can see I make a lot more money. And that's because the fees are eating so much. So having closer grids is not better, even though it's going to catch a lot more smaller price movements. So how did this affect my FEMX trading bot right now? Once I realized this, I actually stopped the bot. It says total P&L, but I actually made money off that from the withdraw. So I restarted the trading bot currently. You can see on this one, I only have 20 grids, so it's about 1.5% in between each grid. So it's not going to capture as many smaller price movements, but I'm going to be eaten by less fees, and I'm going to still capture a decent amount of moves. It's every 1.5% in between each grid. So the question is, what is the optimal grid step? I don't know yet. I'm going to guess between 1.5% to 3%, depends on the volatility of the market, depending on the asset. I'm only doing these on Bitcoin, and so far 1.5% has been around the sweet spot. I'm going to upgrade to Bitsgap Premium one day so I can actually backtest different time series. As of now, I'm only locked to the 30-day. I can't do extended backtest periods. So in the future, we'll find out. We'll see if there's an optimal grid step depending on the market, or if there's a general range for depending on the type of market we're in. So don't make the same mistake as me. Make sure you have large enough grids so you're not eaten up by fees. Unless you have really low fees, then you can play around with it and see the difference it can make. Depends on the fee structure for the brokerage you're using. Now to give an update to the 10x 100K portfolio challenge, currently now our portfolio is sitting at $10,357, and that's with, I've added $300 to the portfolio and actually withdrew $133 worth of profit from the bot on 6/11. That was with the FEMX bot. Now currently Bitcoin price is down since I withdrew that. You can see it's dumping right now. So the portfolio is a little down at the time of this making, but I am actually up outside of the contributions I had by $57, and I've been buying Bitcoin, and so far I have $15 worth of Bitcoin right now, but it's coming along. So we're almost at our full first compounding interval of a 5% gain, and then hopefully we'll be on our way to step period 2, period 3, period 4, and so on and so on. If you're confused on the challenge, check out this video right here where I explained it all. And if you want to follow along, please subscribe to the channel. You can check out the spreadsheet down below. If you want to try FEMX or Bitsgap, I have an affiliate link in the description. Again, a disclaimer from the other video, I don't have too much of an opinion on FEMX as it's the only futures exchange I have within my access of the US. So it's more out of necessity than choice. Although I've really been enjoying Bitsgap, and I think it's been a great service you can use for grid trading bots. Check out the affiliate links in the description. See you all in the next video. Peace.